There's a moment in every courtroom drama when you realize the person wearing the badge isn't the hero of the story. Sometimes they're the villain. This is a fictional tale about what happens when someone with power forgets that authority is borrowed, not owned, and how one act of defiance can cost everything. Picture this: a sweltering courtroom in July, the air conditioning broken, tempers already frayed from heat, and walking through those doors, a sheriff who doesn't just believe he's above the law. He believes he is the law. His name in our story is Sheriff James Big Jim Reynolds, 6'5", gold star badge the size of a dinner plate, white Stetson hat even indoors, 20 years in office. He ran his county like a personal kingdom, and today he's about to learn that every kingdom has borders. If stories about accountability and the limits of power resonate with you, subscribe. We explore fictional narratives that tackle real-world themes. Reynolds didn't come alone. He brought 3 armed deputies who positioned themselves at the courtroom doors like bouncers, blocking the public from entering. The judge, let's call him Judge Caprio, a veteran of 40 years on the bench, wasn't having it. "This is an open court," he declared, voice cutting through the heat. "Under the Constitution, the public has a right to witness these proceedings." The deputies hesitated. They looked at their boss. Reynolds sprawled across 2 chairs, legs stretched out, just smiled that lazy, arrogant smile. "Let him in, boys," he drawled. "Let the judge have his audience. I like a crowd." Now here's where our story gets interesting. Reynolds wasn't in court for a routine matter. He'd arrested a homeless veteran, a decorated Marine named Arthur Penhaligon, for sleeping in his car at a rest stop. But this wasn't about public safety. It was about the car itself. A beautifully restored 1969 Mustang that Reynolds wanted to seize under civil asset forfeiture laws, auction off to his own brother-in-law, and pocket the proceeds. When the judge called the court to order, everyone stood. Everyone except Reynolds. "I'm tired, Judge," he said, picking his teeth with a toothpick. "Had a long night fighting crime. My knees aren't what they used to be." The judge's response was measured, firm. "I understand disrespect when I see it. Stand up." Arthur Penhaligon's testimony painted a devastating picture. He'd bought that Mustang in 1970 when he returned from Vietnam, spent a decade restoring it bolt by bolt. It was his home, his life, everything he'd left after losing his wife. And Reynolds had taken it, not impounded it through proper channels, but seized it with the intention of stealing it. He told the tow truck driver to keep it off the books. Arthur said, voice shaking, said, "This one's a beauty. I might bid on it myself." Reynolds wasn't ashamed. He was smiling. When the judge pressed him, the sheriff's defense was simple. "I interpret the law in my county, not you. I am elected. The people voted for me." But the judge had evidence. Auction listings showing the car valued at $60,000 with starting bid of $1,000, and the only registered bidder was Reynolds' brother-in-law. "This is corruption," the judge said, plain and simple. "You're using your badge to run a car theft ring." That's when Reynolds exploded. He slammed his hand on the table, so hard the wood cracked. "Watch your mouth, old man," he roared. "You're talking to the high sheriff. I don't need a lecture on ethics from a city judge who's never worked a beat." Then came the threats. Reynolds leaned forward, eyes blazing. "I can have your car towed right now. I can have my deputies search your house. I can make your life a living hell." "Are you threatening a sitting judge in open court?" the judge asked. Reynolds laughed. He looked at the cameras in the back of the room, and then he raised his right hand and extended his middle finger directly at the judge. The courtroom erupted. People gasped, stood, shouted. The bailiff stepped forward, hand on his taser. Reynolds held the finger up, smirking. "I answer to voters," he said. "Not to you." The judge didn't yell, didn't bang the gavel. He simply said quietly, "Inspector Quinn, lock the courtroom doors." Click, click. The heavy locks turned. "What are you doing?" Reynolds demanded, suddenly uncertain. "You can't keep me here." "You just committed contempt of court," the judge replied. "And you threatened the judicial officer. That's a felony. You're not going to lunch, Sheriff. You're going to jail." Reynolds grabbed his radio. "Unit 1, breach the courtroom. Get me out of here. The judge is hostile." Static. Silence. Nothing. Your deputies aren't coming, Sheriff. The voice came from the back of the room. A young man in a tan uniform stepped forward. Chief Deputy Miller. He'd been sitting there the whole time in plain clothes, and he was holding a folder. "What is this?" the judge asked when Miller approached. "Dash cam footage from that night," Miller said, voice shaking but resolute. "The sheriff told me to delete it, to destroy the hard drive. But I made a copy." Reynolds' face went purple. "You traitor. I made you. I promoted you. I will kill you." The video told the whole story. Clear audio of Reynolds ordering Miller to plant evidence. "I don't care if he's George Washington," Reynolds said on the tape. "I want that car. Arrest him for vagrancy. Plant a bottle, if you have to." Footage of Reynolds smashing the car window, dragging Arthur out, kicking him in the ribs, laughing. "Nice car, old man. Thanks for the donation." When the video ended, the courtroom was silent except for Reynolds' heavy breathing. "You planted evidence," the judge said. "You assaulted a veteran. You stole his property. And you ordered your deputy to commit a crime." Reynolds looked for an escape. "It's fake. Miller doctored it. He wants my job. It's a coup." "It's the truth," Miller said quietly. "And Sheriff, the state police are outside. I called them an hour ago. They're waiting for you." As the bailiff moved in to arrest him, Reynolds reached for his belt. But his gun was already checked at the door. The handcuffs clicked shut. "These are too tight," Reynolds whined. "You're hurting me." "Now you know how Arthur felt," the bailiff replied. As they dragged him out, Reynolds was still screaming, "I'll be reelected. The people love me. This is a witch hunt." The judge turned to Arthur Penhaligon, who sat stunned, staring at the empty doorway. "I'm dismissing all charges against you," the judge said, "and I'm ordering the immediate return of your vehicle. No fees." Arthur looked up, tears streaming. "Thank you, Judge. But the window," he broke the window. "I can't afford to fix it." Deputy Miller spoke up. "We'll fix it. The department will pay for it. I'll pay for it myself, if I have to. And we found a hotel for you, Arthur, for as long as you need. We're going to make this right." 6 months later, the judge received a letter from the governor. Reynolds had been sentenced to 10 years in federal prison, lost his pension, lost his badge. The letter included a photo from the 4th of July parade, Arthur driving his restored Mustang, window fixed, a sign on the door reading veteran, survivor, and riding shotgun, Chief Deputy Miller, the new interim sheriff. This fictional story asks a real question. What happens when those sworn to uphold the law believe they're exempt from it? In our narrative, a badge didn't make someone a law. Integrity did. Reynolds walked in thinking he was a king. He left realizing he was just a man who broke the rules he was supposed to enforce. What does this story reveal to you about power and accountability? Does fiction like this help us process real-world concerns about corruption? Share your thoughts below. I'd love to hear your perspective. If this kind of storytelling resonates with you, hit that like button and subscribe. We create fictional narratives that explore themes of justice, power, and what it means to do the right thing when the stakes are high.